Hello again and welcome to Pearl Magazine. While the novel coronavirus has infected more than 2 million people around the world, humans aren't the only ones who can become infected. Did you know that here in Hong Kong, 2 dogs and 1 cat have tested positive for COVID-19?
Yeah, in fact, cases are being closely watched by animal lovers who worry their pets may be vulnerable to coronavirus or, worse yet, become potential spreaders. Animal concern groups are worried the confirmed cases may lead to a rise in the number of abandoned pets in the city.
Angel opened her cafe in central Soho 4 years ago. Her 2 puppies work here too.
Well, because apparently they are very attached beings. No one likes to be left alone at home when daddy, mommy goes to work. So I'm lucky to have this my own cafe, so I can always bring them with me.
Many customers come here to enjoy a cup of coffee, but more come for the fluffy friends.
Some people, they will actually ask me or call us before they come. They go, oh, is Kuma and Vopus here? If they're here, we're gonna come. Kuma, hey, hey. Good girl. Kuma, high five. Good girl.
The 2 Pomskys work with Angel here almost every day. But since the coronavirus outbreak, things have been different.
I can't choose who's coming in, who's not. As long as they're wearing masks, I let them in. But then you never know these days. They might be silent carriers, right? So that's why they're staying home these days. So no more nearby park, no more streets walking. Maybe it's a bit extreme, but I think it's just for the safety side.
For Angel, the scariest part is not that the puppies will get the virus, but the quarantine.
If I have to be quarantined, I think that's totally okay. But then if I'm quarantined, so they have a close contact with me, they have to be quarantined in a separate facility and no one knows what's exactly going on with them, that's going to be devastating.
Up to now, 52 animals, including 18 cats, 32 dogs, and 2 hamsters, have been kept at a facility run by the Agricultural Fisheries and Conservation Department. Among them, 2 dogs and 1 cat have tested positive for COVID-19. The first dog found with coronavirus, a 17-year-old Pomeranian, died last month.
The Pomeranian case, now she's passed away. I'm still shocked to know that no one asking for autopsy to know exactly how the Pomeranian died. It could be the virus, it could be the mistreating, it could be something happened during quarantine. But then no one really wants to find out what exactly happened, what's the truth, right? So that really concerns me.
And Angel is heartbroken when she sees people giving up their pets because of the virus risk.
I know all the people, they have dogs. Before this pandemic, they love their dogs. But I do know one person who actually gave her dogs away. People really have to rethink. It's not the doggy's part. It's not their fault, right? And then so far, no case confirmed that they are passing the virus around to humans, and then why they are the one who had to suffer. So this is so not fair.
An owner of a local animal concern group has seen an alarming 50% increase in abandoned dogs recently.
The owners don't say that I don't want to keep the dog because of the virus crisis, but the abandoned dogs we rescued lately are in good quality.
8 years before, Look started an animal shelter in Yuen Long to save abandoned animals and strays.
From our experience, the dogs are usually given up because they are getting older, sick, or bad-tempered. However, recently we have found an increase of abandonment of healthy and young dogs. Most importantly, they are pedigree dogs, which are seldom abandoned.
He worries that people have panicked and are behaving irrationally.
The owners may consider pets a potential risk and would get rid of them regardless of need, in the same way people panic buy toilet paper. They would refuse to keep their dogs based on hearsay or the news that say dogs could contract coronavirus or that they have been tested positive. They don't bother verifying or studying the matter at all.
This is a confusing time. There are a lot of fake news articles circulating on social media. There are a lot of incorrect reports. There's also now these scientific reports that are being released to the public before they've actually been reviewed and examined by other scientists. And I think these reports are creating a lot of confusion.
Professor Vanessa Bars has been studying veterinary medicine for over 30 years. She says there is no evidence that pets can spread the virus.
In order for these viruses to infect humans, they usually first infect an intermediary or an intermediate host. At this stage, it's not known what the wildlife intermediate host is for SARS coronavirus 2, although some animal species such as pangolins have been suspected. But what we do know is that there's certainly no evidence that cats or dogs are the intermediate hosts, so I think we can not worry about that.
Professor Barr says pets are not the coronavirus culprits. On the contrary, they are the victims.
People don't get infected by COVID-19 from their pets, but we do now know that pets can sometimes, on the odd occasion, get infected by their owners.
That's how I feel. I mean, I must admit, Billy's not really...
Dr. Jane Gary has been working together with the professor in light of COVID-19. She shares the same view.
All the animals that have tested positive, all 3 out of 44. So you have to remember that's only around 6% of the animals that we've actually tested. They've all come from households where someone has been confirmed with the virus. So the virus is more than highly likely has come from the owner of the animal.
For more than 30 years, Dr. Gary has been working as a veterinary surgeon. She keeps a dog and 2 cats.
I see pets day in, day out in our clinics and in our hospital. I'm concerned about human beings. I'm far more concerned about catching COVID-19 from them than my pets. Pets are not the problem here. People are.
Both agree that pet owners should stick to the basics. Good hygiene.
It means wearing a mask if you suspect you might be sick. It means distancing yourself from your pet. It means, not allowing your pet to lick your face. Don't share food with your pet. Wash your hands before and after touching your pet.
The 2 experts think that there is no need to panic. Pets are good to have around, especially when people are stuck working or studying from home.
In places like the US and Australia, shelters are being emptied because suddenly people have this time on their hands and pets are providing amazing company and unconditional love in these times of stress. So maybe now is the time to think about, is it time for me to consider adopting a pet?
Big Mouth and Afei were both rescued from an ill-managed animal shelter last year, where many animals died of thirst, starvation, or disease. 3 months ago, they were adopted by this couple.
I used to have 11 dogs at home, but the last one passed away last August. So the family is quiet now. I don't want to buy a pet, because when you read the newspaper, you know that many poor animals are abandoned. So I want to adopt one. I can't wait to take them home.
Mr. and Mrs. Chai live in the new territories.
They are a little scared when they first come here. They wouldn't come closer when I called their names. They are afraid to go into the room I prepared for them.
But now, they're totally fine.
Afei, sit. Okay, good. 大口 sit.
Now we spend more time together, especially during this period. They become closer to us. They're even proactive to come over when they smell your cake, which is almost ready.
Mrs. Chai enjoys making the dogs their favorite snack sometimes, a sponge cake with less sugar and butter. The dogs always have a craving for that. The couple have been working from home lately, so they have more time to spend with the dogs.
We used to play with them only when we came back home after work and finished dinner. But now we also play together in the morning. That's how we build our relationship. Am I right? Am I right?
The couple and their helper take turns to walk them every day, but since the coronavirus crisis, they've been staying at home for nearly 2 months.
We are lucky to provide them with some space. If they only have one room, I guess they would be in low spirits.
Yeah, if they live in an apartment, it would be a problem. We have this little garden, so they do have a playground.
Over the years, the Chais have taken in many strays. Some were abandoned without reason.
Abandoning pets is really irresponsible. For example, if you have a senior at home, are you going to give them up when things happen? It's impossible. When you're getting old, is it okay that your family abandons you? Obviously, no. Dogs are the same. They are part of the family. I need to take care of them, no matter what happens.
And the most important thing for a pet?
They need more than a place to live and enough to eat. Many charities can provide that. What they really need is love. They need some company, and they can feel whether you love them or not, no different from a child.
We have lots of animals here and in shelters throughout Hong Kong that need some time out, that need some love and attention. So please consider that. Maybe there's something good that can come out of COVID-19.
After the break, we take a look at how people are doing their best to stay fit while social distancing, particularly athletes.
Stay with us. Welcome back. Social distancing has become the norm these days, and as people get on with their daily lives, it can be challenging if you want to stay fit or take part in sporting events. Sports fans no longer get the exhilaration of attending a live event, but spare a thought for the professional athletes as well.
That's right. They can't train properly and are having to get creative with their workouts, incorporating furniture and even home appliances into their routines. Fitness centers are trying to move training to the virtual arena, but there are a few road bumps there. April Jo explores how people exercise at home and online during these critical times. Okay.
This is the third Pilates class Yvonne C. has done this day. What makes her classes special is that there's only herself in the yoga studio. All her students are learning at the other end of an internet connection.
We have been doing online classes ever since the government asked us to close the studio because of the current situation with the virus.
Ori-san, we're starting the class. Hi. We're starting the class. Okay.
She spends more than 10 minutes making sure every student gets ready due to the different internet speeds and stability at students' homes. It is the main problem teaching these classes.
If they are using the phone, sometimes the image is not very clear and they freeze quite a lot. So it takes a few seconds for them to reload, but by then we are already on the second or third movement. So sometimes they find it hard reciprocally to see what we're doing when their phone freezes and they can't follow them.
To make the instructions clear and accurate, Yvonne speaks louder than when students were present in a normal class, and she frequently comes to the screen to check.
I like to have an interaction with the clients, so I can actually demo a couple of movements, and then I actually go to the laptop and take a look. But if you have many people, it's really hard to see.
She found it hard to copy the offline class to the virtual world. One of the problems was students didn't have all the equipment at home that they used in the studio.
So we have actually asked our clients to, if they can, buy some of these props. Problem right now is all these props are no longer available in most of the shops because there's quite a lot of people actually buying them up. And they have tried to also order them from other countries. But as you know, the other countries have shut down.
The lack of equipment may not be the main issue for most people, but it can be a headache for the professionals. Ma Renjie is a professional ballet dancer. He says he usually practices 8 hours a day, but now, because studios and gyms are closed, he can only work out at home. He's turned different domestic appliances into tools to help with his routine.
For example, I have my pocket here. You know, you can do this. It's for this muscle, you know. I have this air machine here. I will use to grab to do squat. Like this, I will do 20 of them.
The ballet company he dances with provides online classes for its 45 dancers. Still, dancing at home has a lot of limitations.
In the studio, we can move, we can dance. Actually, here in my apartment, and I cannot do a ground bottom out. I will kick some furniture. It's all about space. They will do small step at home. So we're not doing center, we just do a bar.
Renjie says he misses dancing with his colleagues and friends, which he says always motivates him.
Sometimes I feel a bit lonely, no motivation. I like to dance in the big studio and on stage to perform. I don't know when next time I can perform again. Everything's cancelled for now.
The company tries to book private studios, but it is not an easy task.
During some time during this crisis, we have been able to work at some smaller ballet studios. Right now, that's not possible because of the current regulation.
They transformed a small meeting room into a temporary studio so the ballet master can provide online teaching every day. 2 dancers can come at once to practice.
Every day of a dancer's life, we wake up and dance at the bar. And we start with pliés and go on to tendus. And so this is the fruit of a dancer. We're hoping that soon we'll be able to meet together, maybe in small groups of 10 or 15 dancers in some larger private studios and get back to work.
Marvin Falk, a professional bodybuilder and a gym coach, admits the virus has affected his daily life, but he tries to stay optimistic.
It's all about the mindset. I just want to make sure I have the correct mindset instead of thinking the negativity.
Climbing the stairs rather than taking the lift has become part of his workout.
I do have bands, I have bags, water bottles, and even a desk could help me achieve some training goals of mine.
He says he does exercise based on the theory if training intensity at home can mimic 65% of the training in the gym, the muscle mass built previously at the gym can be maintained.
Given in the current situation, we don't have the basic dumbbells and cables or even barbells to perform arm training. So today I'm going to use a resistance band to train my arms like bicep and tricep. First, I'm going to tie the band onto something durable, something won't break. And now I'm going to target my tricep first.
He spends 3 to 4 hours each day working out. He also shares his experience with his clients online, offering them tips on the importance of correct movement.
I would like to introduce the exercise, shoulder lateral raise. So we must know what the fiber does. Shoulder I think home workout is very crucial in current situation, especially for newbies. It's because you need to have a habit, a good habit, to replace the old habit, to have something healthy, to give your brain some stimulus. So when you go back to the gym or when you go back to your daily lifestyle, your habits already altered.
That includes his diet as well. Having more free time at home, Marvin says it's a good chance to work with his girlfriend on a healthy homemade diet.
My diet will be not so much different, but less oil, less sweetener, more on high protein, good quality of protein, more nutrition, more whole food, like less processed food.
For ballet dancers, having the right diet at home is also essential. The ballet group is taking their diet program online, inviting dancers to cook their home favorites and sharing the recipes with others. This cooking show is part of a project created for the pandemic.
What we really want to do is have people not just enjoy learning more about food from around the world, but to fall in love with the world of ballet. There's another way to fall in love with ballet, which is to understand the people, the humanity of the artists.
Because of good feedback, the group decided to extend the project from the original 2 months to at least the end of 2020. This means other threads of this project, including online ballet classes for everyone, will continue as well.
We wanted to get people moving and dance with us. One of the things the world needs to do is come together, and that ballet and the arts can be a unifying force, a way to gather together, not just be entertained, certainly, and forget the troubles, but also to have a more fulfilling life.
Definitely, I think there will be a shift into more online classes, a lot of more, stay-at-home workout. This trend, I definitely think it will continue.
But Yvonne says not performing the routine in person isn't the complete solution.
What do you guys think of the exercises just now?
It would be better if it is doing in person because sometimes we are not able to know whether we are doing it right or wrong unless Yvonne really come over and take a look at us.
Like everyone else, Yvonne wishes the pandemic would end soon and business can get back to normal.
It's actually a really great impact. It impacts more than 80% of our usual business.
Luckily, Yvonne got a reduction in rent, but she's not so thrilled about the salary subsidy for employees promised by the government.
I think that they have promised some kind of subsidizing most or all of the fitness centers, as they said, and only certain numbers of instructors, but they are the employees. In Hong Kong, I know most of the instructors freelance or they are self-employed, so we're really hopeful that the government can also help.
That's our show for this week. Next week, we take a look at how Hong Kong people are coping with unemployment and if they are able to benefit from government support.
And how those in 14-day quarantine are faring in isolation or being in close quarters with family 24/7. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.